Everyone. Sorry for the late video. I had on my calendar that this was due on week 10, but it was supposed to be week 8. I apologize for that. So I also lost my voice at a Father's Day bash yesterday, and so please bear with me as I squeak through this tutorial. But what we're going to cover is session start and session destroy functions. And these are pretty straightforward things. I think you'll be able to grasp them pretty easy. So if we talk about a cookie is stored in a text file on the user's computer. So they're accessing whatever we've developed, and that's stored on their side. Whereas a session is stored on the server side, so that's on our side. Session start, session underscore start bracket bracket, is going to be our function to start that server side session. Okay, so let's just take a look here at tutorialspoint.com, where they have a great little, they have some examples and they explain it really well. So what we're doing is, when we call this function, it returns a Boolean value, which is true if the session started successfully and false if not successful. So let's take a look at example 1. So here they have their HTML, and then before that they are PHP here. So they call the session start function, and then they say, if set our session has a value of counter, then add 1 to that value. Else, if there isn't a counter key, then make it have a value of 1. And so you can see, like, this counter basically what will happen is each time it checks, it's going to add increment by 1 in our session value counter. And then here's the message. So they have session counter, and that's being echoed here. So as they're refreshing the page or returning to the page, that session is going to count the amount of times that that session is being. So like right here, it says this is the result. You're going to see you have visited this page 1 time in this session, and then multiple times it'll increment that as needed. Another example here, the same sort of thing. If is set post submit button. So this is saying that in this form down here with this submit button, when they hit that, start a session, and then in that session, set a value, a key for the name that's posted, and an age for the age that's posted. So if we come down here, this is the form. Here's the submit button. And then if they were to push next, that would take them to another page. So, by submitting and then clicking on next, we look at the next code, and it actually is telling it to print out the session values. So it's saying for session key name and for session key age, and that will print out this for us, and 30. So those are stored on the server side, which also will give you an extra layer of protection because a cookie, we don't have any control over that. But on the server side, we do have somewhat of a security layer there in the first place. So that way we can kind of make sure that we're not losing anything or being irresponsible with our development. In the third example here, they show that you can actually set an array into the session right off the bat. So they've defined this options array to have a key value as these, and then they pass that into the session start as an argument. And so if you need to, you're able to do that. So that is all you have to do to initialize a session. Now to destroy. So like we were talking about, being responsible for our development and handling of sensitive information. Obviously, session destroy destroys the session. So that's session underscore destroy bracket bracket. This does not take any parameters. So we're never going to really pass anything into this. We're just going to destroy everything. Now, what's happening when you call this function, it's returning a Boolean value, true if the session's destroyed, but false if it's not. So just to make sure that you understand what's going to be coming back from session destroy. So here, if we look at our examples again, they have a session start initialized. And then it says here, if the session counter is greater than 5, destroy the session and then echo session destroyed. So, and then that is echoed in their HTML. So as you are visiting the page, it'll increment 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then once it hits 6, it's going to exceed that, enter this if statement. It'll meet these qualifications, enter this if statement, destroy the session, and output this. Session destroyed. You've 6 times. And so here, what are we doing? Same sort of thing. We're saying when they hit the submit button, I want you to start a session. I want you to grab the 2 variables that are posted and set them into my session data. And I should mention too, on the server, it's a temporary file. So it's not necessarily something that's just going to, but then it says print, enter the values and click on next, and then it destroys the session. So if you look at, if we remember, the next actually takes us to another page that's supposed to display those values that we grabbed from the post. But inside this if statement, they're destroying the session. So let's see what happens here. They take the information, you hit submit, you hit next. It takes you to the session 2 HTML. And this is what we got from the past code. But because we destroyed the session, what ends up happening is we get an error notice that says name in session page 2 on line 9 is undefined. Because that session was destroyed, that information is no longer there. And we've successfully just taken that sensitive information. Like, let's say Krishna doesn't want people to know that they're 30. Well, we're taken care of. There you have it. Pretty straightforward. Start a session. It'll be located on the server side. That data by using the $_ all caps session and accessing whatever information you're storing in there temporarily. And then responsibly, you can destroy that session with session destroy. So hopefully this helps. And again, sorry for the late video. And I hope you have a great week. Let's finish the semester strong, and we'll see you later.